Welcome back. This is All Angles. We are live on DSTV channel 403 here on eNCA. Let me take you back to the Braamfontein CBD where we find eNCA's Aviwe Mtila. Aviwe, I am hoping that our glitches with the technology have been sorted out. You've been talking to some of the student leadership. What have you heard in the last while?
In fact, Pachulas, I'm not going to delay any further. I'll put Bendulo Mfeka, the SRC president at Wits, just to hear what he's saying.
Not only to arrest, but to death in and of itself. So going forward, comrades, we're not going to leave this place until Zeppelin Bilagazi comes down here himself. We're not going to leave this place. We're not going to leave this place until Blade Nzimande comes here himself. We're not going to leave this place until Pegitele comes here. Long live the spirit of defiance, long live. Long live the spirit of defiance, long live. Long live, long live. Long live, long live. Long live, long live. Manja, Manja. Comrades, what we are going to do from now, we are going to request maximum discipline. By maximum discipline, I mean we have seen divisions. There's elements that are trying to infiltrate the genuine cause of this. Let us unite at this point. Let us unite beyond the party line. Comrades, I request that from across institutions, from across TVETs and universities, we unite for one common goal. It would be narrow and immature of us to defeat the end goal by dividing ourselves among party lines. Comrades, I am going to request, going forward, that everything we do, it's done through consultation within and amongst each other. President,
Amanda! That was SRC President Bendulo Mfeka. Now the SG of the SRC coming through.
Thank you very much, fellow comrades, fighters, progressive forces. We are here today, comrades. Let us also remind all of us who are here, this is a generational mission. We are not here because of temporal comfort. We are not here because of just registration. We are here for free, quality and decolonized education. So we will ensure that every platform, every opportunity that is given to us, we capitalize on it. So we are here, comrade, to send a strong message that without free education, there won't be rest in all institutions of South Africa. Let us also send a message to Blade Nzimande today here, that we are going to declare national shutdown to all institutions of higher learning. Comrades, let us go, let us go, let us go, let us go, let us go. Amanda! Comrades, let us also appreciate the TVET students who came here. Well aware. Comrades, this struggle is not all about vets. This struggle is not all about UJ. But this struggle is about all institutions of higher learning. Central Johannesburg TVET college students, we appreciate your fearlessness. We appreciate your discipline. We appreciate your commitment. We appreciate your sacrifice. Comrades, we have nothing to lose. They've taken the land, they've taken the economy, they've taken everything. The only thing we're fighting for now is a mere education. Because we believe that it's only education that can change our background. Comrades, let us not retreat. Comrades, let us not retreat. Comrades, let us not surrender. Comrades, let us go and fight. Amanda! Go! Long live the spirit of defiance, long live! Long live the spirit of defiance, long live! Unite, Bafundi, unite! Comrades, as a line of march, at some point we are going to end up at Solomon Masangu House. to discuss a way forward for the national. As a line of march, we will march when we move here and enter via Jorisin into campus. But as it stands currently, we want the spokesperson of police in the province to come and account. How is it that a student passed during protest? Yes. Go be, go be, go be, oh.
The president of Wits University Student Representative Council, Mpendulo Mpeka, and one of the EFF leaders, right in this middle of De Beer Street and Stamen Street in Braamfontein. They say they're protesting peacefully at this stage after a life was lost. There's still uncertainty as to exactly who the person that passed away is. Is it one of the students, as you've heard the SRC president tried to suggest here, or is it a bystander? We understand from Netcare 911 a message coming through to us telling us, in fact, that it was a 30-year-old, someone in his 30s, that had went to a doctor, and as he came out is when he was fired, allegedly at the hands of the police by a rubber bullet at close range. But I was actually having a conversation with the SRC president just on the sidelines a bit earlier on here, saying that at this stage they're waiting for the SAPS to come and address them. But you heard it there on the record that on top of that, they also want the Minister of Higher Education, Blade Zimande, to come here. I just want to come a bit closer to Mpendulo Mpeka, the SRC president at Wits, to find out if there are any other intentions. It looks like he's just calming them down at this moment, but we heard some ambitious demands from the SRC here, saying that the students that are here won't leave this very spot up until they're addressed by the Higher Education Minister, Blade Zimande, SAPS, some of the people that were mentioned there. But now it seems that they're coming for they're calling for discipline. But just on the other side, there's a bit of a heavy police presence. There was even a nyala a bit earlier on, but the JMPD is scattered just around the scene, and just closer to the scene, in fact, where that gentleman who we understand from Netcare 911 was in his 30s and was shot as he was coming out from the doctor, according to Netcare 911. But the students seem to suggest that it might have been a student. So it's still uncertain at this stage who exactly that gentleman is.
Incredible that at this particular point, no official word from the police at this particular point, Aviwe, even on just a basic statement, really, something that's just basic, that confirms that this incident happened and this person has died and we are investigating. Nothing that I've seen so far from the police. Hopefully that situation does improve in the coming hours, in fact in the coming minutes, hopefully, because you know there's a lot of uncertainty around that particular issue of who this person is and the circumstances, how it is that they came to die in the crossfire between police and students in the streets of Braamfontein. But the Minister of Higher Education there, Blade Zimande, very unpopular among that crowd, Aviwe. A chance of Blade must go.
Yes, not popular at this stage. We heard the EFF come on there suggesting that they're still fighting for free education. Students not happy, saying that it's not only a cause for university, not specifically for Wits University, UJ, but as well as the TVET colleges. They're saying that it's an issue across higher education as a whole. In fact, they want the minister to be one of the people that will eventually disperse this crowd here if the minister comes here. They're saying that they're not going anywhere at this point until Minister Blade Zimande comes and addresses them here. A bit ambitious demand. But while speaking to Mpendulo Mpeka, the SRC president on the sidelines, he did say that they'd be happy even with the SAPS, as you suggest, just coming to speak to this crowd. But more importantly, we've heard nothing from the SAPS, an official statement to indicate that there has been this death and this situation. We haven't heard any official comment from Wits University around the death specifically, but you understand the issues are around those university registrations, and just more importantly at Wits, how many people are registered. We spoke to Shirona just yesterday, saying that there are at least 35,500 of the 37,000 students have been registered, but that's been disputed by the SRC on the ground, saying that the numbers are more, and in fact they still call for higher education, hence Minister Blade Nzimande at the mouths of these students in Braamfontein.
Yeah, also important for us to add context to it all, when Aviwe, because the issues are complex, right? And it's many of them date back many years. Part of the mix includes the situation with the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, where there's been a delay in confirmation of some new student applicants, their funding, the delay in confirming whether or not those new students will be funded. The assurance from the Minister of Higher Education is that the recipients of NSFAS funding who are returning will be funded, but at this point it seems there's a delay in confirming new entrants into the system, whether or not they will be funded. That makes it difficult for universities to process the registration of some of those students, which is why we are here. We are seeing, well, that's partly why we are here. But linked to it all, of course, Aviwe, is the issues around accommodation of students. And my goodness, do those rear their ugly head almost every year at Wits University?
Every year. In fact, it's one of the issues that sparked the protest that we saw last week. A video that went viral among the students of first-year students sleeping at the libraries. So that sparked what we initially saw last week, the protest that sparked out. And in fact, just issues around first years at large amongst the cracks here. I remember speaking to the SRC president, Wits, just on Sunday on those issues. Wits was gearing up to go online on Monday, lectures open, but the issue was that the first years hadn't received laptops. I mean, I was speaking to them individually, suggesting that how are they going to access those lectures if they don't have laptops. And of course, NSFAS funding is another issue. Myself personally had a similar issue with one of my younger sisters at another university around Johannesburg, where they haven't still at this stage, they had to register with their own money because NSFAS wasn't funding them. And there's a question around whether NSFAS will eventually fund them. But the SRC president seems to be gearing up to address the students once more. And in a quick conversation I had to him now, he's mentioned that in about 5 or so minutes we'll be able to speak to them clearly as the SRC. They'll open up to the media, but now they're still just addressing the students just on the way forward.
And of course, the plan from the students, from what the leadership has been telling us, is to at some point move from that intersection where they are gathered now to, in their words, mourn the loss of a life of that person who's been killed in that crossfire. And their plan is to move to Solomon Mahlangu House inside Wits University, which was previously known as Senate House, which has been a center of many of these activities. There's, of course, the EFF Student Command is part of the people at the forefront of that protest at Wits University. A statement coming from the EFF in the last while, talking about the EFF condemning in the harshest terms the reported murder, is the word that comes from that statement, of a civilian during the protests by students at Wits University. And basically further down in the statement, under the hand of the EFF spokesperson, Vuyani Pambo, the Minister of Higher Education, Blade Nzimande, coming in for severe criticism from the EFF saying that Blade Nzimande has been unapologetic about students falling. He is on record calling for hashtag students must fall, even though these words were publicly uttered under the guise of banter. His words have come to pass in the deregistration of 20,000 students at UNISA. So you know they're making allusion there to the directive for UNISA to reduce the numbers, the intake of this year for 2021. So we'll leave it there for now with Aviwe Mtila and Nkosazana Dambuza continuing to track the protests there in the Johannesburg CBD.